Okay, now let us talk about the ancient practice coming out of China during the 10th century. And we're talking about lotus feet or foot binding. Now, this happened under Emperor Lai Yu reign. Now, this practice is somewhat of a worship to these ancient gods. And the ancient god, or should I say goddess, that I'm talking about is Ishtar. We'll get to that later on. Now, lotus feet is when females would have their toes taped together tightly into triangular points. The feet were beaten, cast in herbs and oils to loosen the skin, and strapped into lotus shoes. Most women were bounded at the age of 7. The first year is particularly excruciating because the girls were made to walk until their toes would break under their weight. After that, the toe became numb. After so many years later, they didn't have any pain in their feet. No. Let us look on what the lotus is all about. Lotus, it's an ancient symbol of creation and fertility. The lotus is widely revered in India, Egypt, China, and Japan. It also symbolizes purity because it emerged unsoiled from the murky waters. Now, it is important to also mention that lotus is talked about in the Christian Bible in Job 40:21 to 22. Now, when it comes on to foot binding, it is seen as a prestige symbol and it is said to increase fertility. Now, when you hear the word fertility, it brings you to this goddess known as Ishtar, right? And when I see the practice and the shape of these feet, or they are severely disfigured and shaped to look like, to me, the feet of Ishtar. Now, if you look on this stonework here showing a depiction of the ancient goddess Ishtar, and you look on her feet, they would have somewhat of lotus looking shape, a triangular looking shape. So for me, I believe that these people were out here disfiguring their bodies in a form of worship to this ancient deity. Now I'm telling you, these ancient gods, they were doing too much, way too much, right? Now, this practice is outlawed in today's China, but it just shows you the reach of these fallen angels. It just shows you what they were up to. They were up to no good, right? To the point where young ladies had to endure being disfigured to please this ancient deity, because that's what it is. It's a form of worship towards this deity, and I'm quite surprised that the experts did not see it for what it is, right? Worship to Ishtar. Well, I'm telling you, people, you need to understand, we are not alone, and we were never alone. And these entities, they were doing too much, way too much. We need to pray and understand we are in the end times. This practice, it is so heartbreaking to really look on how severely disfigured these females were. It's really heartbreaking. And all in the name of these ancient deities, these ancient gods, especially Ishtar. We need to pray and say, glory be to the Most High.